What you mean you don't know how to apply curl products? Girl. Hey guys, Kiana here with a new video. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new, my name is Kiana, and don't forget to click the subscribe button on the bottom and the bell on the side for notifications on when I post new videos. And if you're not, hey, thank you for coming back. So today I am going to do a curl technique video. This was requested by two of my closest friends. They are in their transitioning period and they wanted to find out like different techniques to apply product to your hair. So if you're interested in seeing how I got these results, then just keep on watching. So we're gonna start off with my hair freshly washed and deep conditioned. This is what my curls look like right now. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna split my hair. So this is my left side, it'll probably be your right side on the screen. But what I'm going to do is the Denman brush method. So that's one method that I'm going to do, and as I'm doing it, I'm gonna explain a little bit of, you know, like what you can do for that and all of that stuff. And then on this side, which is the side that's tied up, which is my right side, your left, I'll be doing finger coils. So that might take some time, but what y'all got to do now? We're in quarantine, so unless you're essential, you're home watching videos anyways. So the product that I am using as a leave-in for this style, I already did a video on it. The Cantu TXTR Texture Hydration Conditioner. It's a leave-in or a rinse out, so you can use it however you want. So I'm gonna separate my hair into two sections. So I just like to detangle, make sure there aren't any knots. And I usually do these in a bit of bigger sections. So I'm going to take 4 pumps for this section. So after I apply this method, I think it's actually quicker because you're not really doing much. You're just applying the product, raking it in. Now let me explain something. When you rake in a product, you take it between your fingertips and you go like this. So that's what I mean for raking, and you're basically getting every single strand. Just to give yourself a little bit more definition, you go in with smaller sections. Take your Denman brush and you start from the roots. I mean, it depends. Do you want volume or definition? I mean, I usually get both with this method, but just don't put too much products on your roots. But what you would do is you start with your roots, right? And then you comb up and away, and you kind of turn your brush a little bit and it pulls straight through. You see how those curls clumped up? The person that I got this method from was Chelly's Curls. I love how her curls turn out. This is how I've been doing my hair for, I want to say, the past 6 months, probably a little bit longer. Now, one of the reasons why I like this method is, one, I get a bunch of curl definition, and 2, because it's so quick. It is a bit time consuming, but I feel that if you take the proper time to style your hair on day 1, you don't have to constantly either do it again for another couple of days. My wash days usually last anywhere from 5 to 7 days, so you won't have to do it again. That's 1. 2, if you put in the proper time day 1, you won't have to go crazy with the refreshing. I feel like this is a great technique for if you are transitioning, just because it gives you a lot of definition. Like using the Denman brush, before I used it, I had like really small, spirally ringlet curls, and now I do still have some of those curls, but they have more definition. The only thing is that if you want length, this is going to clump up your curls, especially if you scrunch, which is also another method that I'll do in a later video, which I am doing 3 videos on different methods for applying product to your hair. Stay tuned for the other 2 videos. With the Denman brush method, I feel like it's pretty fast. It hasn't taken that long. Now what this is doing is that it's training your curls again to become curls. So if you've had any heat damage or, you know, color damage, which is something that I had, this is actually training your curls and reminding them that they are curls. They're supposed to be spiraling. Like this had a lot of heat damage. I had to cut so much off of this section. So what I usually do, I usually pass my brush several times on this section. So I'm just gonna do this to my whole head. Now when I get to this top section, I like to separate them in rows, leaving this section for last. And what I do is that I comb up and out just so that my hair has a bit more volume. especially in the front here, I like to curl, comb up and out, and then just let it drop. They start to clump up, but that's okay because you're able to separate them later. You see how short it is on this side, so we'll see how it is on this side. I'm pretty sure that with this side it might be more elongated. So now on this side, I'm just gonna do the same thing. I am doing this on wet hair. It's not soaking wet straight out of the shower anymore, at least not this side. So I might go in and wet it again. I prefer to style my hair on wet hair just because I get better results that way. I don't like doing it on damp. With my Denman brush, I just used it to get out all of my tangle, and we're going to do the same thing, but instead of using the Denman brush, so I am going to start on this side, same thing, divide it into 2 sections. I did go and wet my hair again because, like I said, I like working on wet hair. And on this side, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to once again rake the product through. But instead of passing the Denman brush, this might take you some time, but it's a great technique for someone that is transitioning, just because it's reminding your curls that it is a curl and the way that it's supposed to curl. Depending on your hair you might have to twirl it this way. So this side of my hair is usually counterclockwise. My other side, which I use a Denman brush on, is usually clockwise. So you just want to do that. This might take some time, so just be patient because it's going to be worth it. You'll be able to stretch out your wash and go as much as possible. I hardly ever do this anymore just because I'm fully transitioned, but at first I used to do this a lot, and I started taking like bigger sections at one point. I don't know if you can already see the difference of how long this is compared to this side. So this will give you for sure more elongation. At first I used to do it because 1, it was super cute, and 2, I wanted, you know, my transition to like be nice and smooth and stuff. So I used to do it probably like twice a month. And I used to also, when I would style my hair, I would take like certain sections and finger coil them as well. So like I'll show you once I get to the top of my head, which is usually where I used to finger coil. I used to pass my Denman brush and then just finger coil certain sections on the top of my head because I feel like that's the section that everybody usually sees. So this method does provide more elongation. It does provide a lot of definition as well. Now this is the area where before I used to just do the Denman brush on my whole head, and then up here I would just finger coil. So that's completely up to you. I sometimes still do it, but do you guys see the difference? This side is longer and it's still defined. This side is shorter and it's still defined. So we'll see how they look when it's dry. What I am going to do is I'm going to fluff, and I'll be right back to show you guys those results because I need to loosen up some of these curls that are all clumped together and see if they at least look similar or if they still look different. So stay tuned for that. So this is my hair fluffed. I don't really see too big of a difference between the sides. Like, I love this. Let me tell you, 1, the Cantu TXTR leave-in is definitely one of my favorite one and done products. That's 1. And 2, so what I've been using to unclump my curls is this Tresemme botanical spray. I love it. It's a spray on oil. When I'm fluffing and unclumping my curls, I like to use an oil just so that it's not too hard harsh, but there's only one actual difference that I see in my hair with the two. So the Denman brush side is definitely shorter than the finger coil side. Do you guys see that? This side, which is the finger coil side, is definitely longer than the Denman brush, but it has about I guess the same amount of frizz and the same amount of definition. So it's totally up to you which method you think that you should use best, or which one works best for your hair. Now, one thing that I don't do, I don't diffuse my hair. Well, at least I don't diffuse often. So this is both air dried hair, so it depends on you. If you like to diffuse, use your settings on low heat and cool air as much as possible. Try not to use hot air because it's gonna cause like a lot of frizz, unless you like frizz. I mean, I like a bit of frizz, but I also like definition. So if I was to diffuse, I usually use cool air and on low setting. It does take longer, but it's worth it. If you take care of your hair the first day, you don't have to keep refreshing during the week. That's the only difference. But let me see if I can pop out one of these curls really thick. It clumps up. So what you do, you take a little bit of oil, then you put it on your hands, and then you just separate it a little bit, just so that you can have more volume. Same thing on this side. I had a lot of clumped curls down here, like right here. I think I found one. This one's a real clumped curl. Take a little bit of oil and you just separate it. But those are two different ways that you can apply product. Like I said, love applying my products in sections. I mainly use the Denman brush, but now seeing the results of these finger coils, I might have to go back to them because sis, I love it. So if you enjoyed this video, stay tuned for part 2, because in that video I will be doing 2 new methods to see which one will work best for you, just so that you can have a variety of different techniques that you can do for your hair and see which one works best for you. Thank you guys so much for tuning into my video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to stay tuned for part 2 of this video. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram so we can be curl friends. I love you guys so much. And